I just finished reading a great article by Michael Goodwin that we need to post at mikeonline.com. Biden's radicalism. The new hallmarks of the Democrats are weaponizing race and crushing dissent. That's what they're about. Michael writes about getting an email from a reader of his. The emailer first called Senator Tim Scott the token Uncle Tom and the N-word. And then the writer added, "You knuckle-dragging conservatives should be sent to the ovens." Michael writes, "This is how political disagreement is often expressed." And the writer, effectively identified as a liberal, that's what they do today, many of them. Liberals, he writes, not so long ago were the vanguard on civil rights. They pressed hardest for equal opportunity for Black Americans in workplaces, schools, and government. Yet here's a racist who identifies as a liberal wishing conservatives get sent to the ovens. And Michael Goodwin says this is not to suggest all Republicans are innocent or that every Democrat is a racist who wants Republicans dead. Rather, it's stating the obvious to say the new left alone wants to irrevocably change America, rewrite its history, and tear down its institutions. And many are prepared to crush any and all dissent. Ask Mike Lindell. Got a big rally tonight in South Dakota. I'll bet you there's going to be a lot of people there at the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota, town of about 15,000, where Mike is kicking off his new social media platform called Frank. They have done everything they can to erase MyPillow and Mike Lindell because of Mike's beliefs. That's what it means to try to crush dissent. Dissent isn't allowed. Michael Goodwin says millions of Democrats fit that description and they're driving the party. Many are in Congress and the administration, including, I'm sorry to say, Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Biden is incentivizing schools to teach critical race theory, which reduces people to the color of their skin. The hatred for Tim Scott and others who don't subscribe to this new orthodoxy is alarming. Those who felt abandoned and betrayed by electing Donald Trump, who embraced the role of their avenger, in response, the left upped the ante again by starting a resistance that adopted the posture of moral and intellectual superiority on steroids. You're hearing that about the vaccine, right? If you don't wear a mask and conform and do what they tell you to do, you're morally inferior. It's become the ultimate virtue signal. Listening to people publicly shame other people who won't even say whether they've got a vaccine or not. It's amazing. We saw the flowering of the madness during the violent anti-police protests, he writes. More often, it was young whites, some of them graduates of elite universities who, while demonstrating in the George Floyd case, were caught spitting on and cursing police. Biden, seeing the widening breach and numerous fault lines, cleverly sold himself as someone who would lower the temperature and get things done by working with both sides. Michael Goodwin says that was a ruse. The bonfire of rage is still burning, and his administration is using its power to further racialize and radicalize daily life. No leading Democrat, including Biden, condemned the outrageous attacks on law enforcement. Similarly, few Dems condemn big tech's silencing of voices that oppose the left's worldview. The FBI raid on Rudy Giuliani's apartment is especially suspicious. Why 4 months after January 6th, is the National Guard manning a garrison-like fortress around the Capitol long after officials conceded there are no threats? These nonstop assaults on core American values are taking a toll on many people. Get involved, Michael Goodwin says. Get involved and pray for America. We'll have that column at mikeonline.com.